So, in the small town of Clinton, things are really heating up over a single section of the zoning code. We're talking about a debate that's got residents asking if a legal loophole could completely change the character of their town. We're going to break down what's happening and look at the pretty bold plans some candidates have to fix it.
This is the kind of question that pops up in communities all over the country. But for the people in Clinton, it is the question right now. And to really get to the bottom of it all, we first have to look at the town's roadmap, the one document that's supposed to guide every single decision.
All right, so to really understand this conflict, you have to know about something called the Comprehensive Plan. It's pretty much the key to this whole debate. Think of the comprehensive plan as the town's North Star. It's not a law itself, but it's the official vision. It's a document that says, this is who we are and this is where we want to go. And, in theory, every law the town passes is supposed to align with that vision. And you heard it right there from Dean Michael, a Republican candidate for supervisor. He calls it the overarching document. It's supposed to be the ultimate test for any new law or development. So, what happens when a law seems to go completely rogue?
Okay, and this is where the real drama starts. Because there's one specific law that critics are calling a giant loophole, a backdoor that they say completely undermines that town vision we just talked about.
Yep, it all comes down to this one piece of the town code, Section 250-45. It deals with conference centers. The problem? Critics say the term is so vaguely defined that it opens the door for massive resorts to be built in places they were never meant to be. And that's exactly Dean Michael's point. When you hear the words conference center, you probably picture a place to hold a meeting, right? Simple. He argues that was the original intent. And I mean, just look at this contrast. On one hand, you've got the simple idea of a meeting hall, but on the other, thanks to this loophole, what you could get is a full-scale resort with lodging for 250 guests and space for 150 employees. We're talking two completely different realities, bridged by just one vaguely written law. So you might be thinking, well, if it's such a big deal, why hasn't it been fixed? And that's a central part of this whole debate. The Republican candidates are making it a point to say that this issue isn't new. They say it's been a known problem for the last 2 years and that the current town board hasn't done anything to close the loophole. So, we've got the problem on the table. Now, what's the proposed fix? Well, the candidates have a very direct, very clear answer to that. And they are not mincing words here. Their position is straightforward. Large-scale hotels and resorts simply do not belong in the town of Clinton. They argue it completely contradicts what was laid out in that all-important comprehensive plan. Now, this isn't just a quick slap a Band-Aid on it kind of fix. They've laid out a very deliberate 3-step plan they say will get the town back on the right path. Okay, so here's their game plan. Step 1, and this is the big one. Pass a new law to immediately ban and repeal the current conference center code. Just stop it cold. Step 2, bring in a professional to rewrite the entire comprehensive plan. And step 3, once that new vision is locked in, draft brand new, crystal clear zoning laws that actually line up with it. And you can see the thinking here. It's all about being thorough. It's about avoiding what candidate Catherine Mostello has called rushed junk laws, which she warns could just create a whole new mess of problems down the line. All right, so that's the long-term strategy. But what about the here and now? This is probably the boldest, most controversial part of their entire plan. Right, this is the million-dollar question. If you go ahead and repeal this law, what on earth happens to any projects that have already submitted their applications? Well, Catherine Mostello's answer is about as direct as you can get. She says, my opinion, it should apply to everything. So let's be really clear about what that means. They are stating that their intention is for this repeal to apply to all pending applications. That would stop any current projects that are relying on that code right in their tracks. Now, you know that a move that bold is going to get a reaction. And in this case, that reaction would almost certainly be a legal one. So how are they preparing for that fight? I mean, let's be real, right? Making a move like this is practically an invitation for some pretty serious and potentially very expensive lawsuits against the town. But it seems like they're ready for that. Dean Michael is pretty clear that the threat of litigation isn't going to deter them. As he puts it, when something this significant is on the line, something with a long-lasting impact, you don't just back down because someone might sue you. For them, this is a fight worth having.
And that really just leaves us with this one big question, doesn't it? How far should a town go to protect its vision for the future? It's a tough question that the people of Clinton are grappling with right now, and one that every community, in its own way, has to answer for itself.